If you have £50,000 and you are stuck in between whether to invest it in the Nigerian real estate market or to invest it in the UK market, then this video is for you. If you are in the diaspora and you are bothered about whether to change that pound that you have or the dollar that you have to put it in the real estate market in Nigeria, then this video is also for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be having a conversation with you about £50,000 in comparison with or comparing it with whether to invest it in Nigeria or in the UK market. And it is also in reference to a conversation that has been trending online this week, which a lot of persons have been using to communicate a narrative. And I feel like I should put in my voice in that conversation because I feel like there are a number of things we should correct in a way that we all should be enlightened and then be able to um, work with numbers, work with facts, especially in line with our purpose. There's something I always say whenever you want to make any kind of investment, you must be intentional about your purpose, your goal, and what you are looking to achieve. If you take away these elements, then anything can happen and you can end up not achieving what you're looking to achieve. And then an investment can be considered as a mistake. Two people can do the same thing. And at the end of the day, one can be happy that he did what he did, and the other person can be sad or will end up being sad that he did the same thing. At the end of the day, it's all about your goal and what you're looking to achieve. Somebody can put £50,000 in Nigeria and not be happy about it. Another person can put £50,000 in the UK and not be happy about it. It's all about purpose, intention, and what you are looking to achieve. So this video, I'm going to be looking at the numbers. I'm going to be looking at facts. And for everything I'm going to be saying here, I need you to verify. And I encourage you to watch this video to the very end because by the end of this video, I am definite, I am very sure that you will be able to get clarity as it relates to the numbers in terms of whether to invest in Nigeria or to invest in the UK with whatever amount of money that you have. My name is Raymond Dijoma and I am the lawyer that loves real estate. Or if you like, the real estate entrepreneur that uses law as a tool in the best interest of my clients. And this video is brought to you by Fortreal Rei Ltd. Real estate company right here in the very city of Abuja. So let's look at the numbers. Again, like I said, you can verify and fact check everything I'm going to say. So just based on reference, right? The conversation was about 50,000 to 55,000 pounds. I'll leave it at 50,000 pounds so that we use it to communicate what we want to do here. And then just a bit of credit to the Nigerian real estate market. In that video that was trending, it was stated there that, or it was said there that assets were liquidated. Of course, there was no mention of where the assets were liquidated, but I could safely assume that those assets were liquidated in Nigeria. And then it's also safe to say that they were real estate investment. And with that, it's safe to say that we could give credit to the Nigerian real estate market or sector because from the real estate market here, money was generated to be able to afford something in the UK, and that's credit. And again, that should give you an idea of purpose because at the end of the day, it's about what you're looking to achieve beyond the numbers. And so let's look at this. £50,000. So based on the conversation, it should be based on £2,000, right, to naira, and then that would mean that this £50,000 will give us 100 million. I'm going to have this conversation comparatively and give you all of the facts and the numbers. So I'm going to come to the 100 million, but let's finish with this particular one and investing with £50,000 in the UK. One thing I know for a fact about the UK market is the fact that it is long-term based. I know that for a fact. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. The UK market and the real estate market in every sector is long-term based. If you decide or if you want to invest £50,000 in Nigeria and want your money to become £100,000 in 1 year, that will be a mistake. And of course, there's a short-term approach to real estate, but at a global standard, with real estate being a long-term game, it will be wrong for you to put in £50,000 in Nigeria and expect £100,000 or 100,000 pounds back to you in 1 year. We're going to correct all of that notion, but still stay with me. So let's go back to the conversation, which is the £50,000. And with this, now he talked about buying this in terms of mortgage and buying a house in terms of mortgage, and the house was given between after all the bills have been paid, right? So in other words, it means that the house was given way more than, or let's walk around £2,000 every month to this person. And then at the end of the day, he had um, let's call it a profit of between 1,000 to 1,200 pounds, right? Now, if this is the reality, then it means that this house definitely was not bought at 50,000 pounds. This could have been his initial deposit to be able to secure the 50,000 pounds. And before we even go deeper into this particular one, we also have to understand and accept the reality of how the mortgage system works in the UK. Now, someone who understands the mortgage system and how it works in the UK, I know for a fact that you don't just jump in and get a mortgage. There are certain things that are required of you, your credit score, a number of things they will have to come in. Even your initial deposit, you have to back it up or look at it in terms or in line with your loan to value ratio and all of that. So a number of things come in that we are not going to have the time to go into. What I'm just trying to drive at here is the fact that if this is the profit that comes in monthly, 1,000 to 1,200 pounds every month, based on after the bills have been paid, then it means that the house in question definitely was around 250,000 to 300,000 pounds. In other words, because for you to the house or the average of the house that will give you around 2,000 pounds every month must be valued around this range, especially based on location. Because this kind of house, say 250 to 3,000 pounds house, is going to be giving you around some depending on location, say 1,500 to 2,000 pounds monthly. If this is the situation, then it means that in terms of mortgage, this person has say around 200,000 to 300 to 250,000 pounds as mortgage to service. And I know for a fact that the average mortgage or servicing that you have to service your mortgage in a month, some go as high as 1,000 pounds monthly, right? So if this is going into all of these, excluding taxes, maintenance, and every other thing that come in between, then definitely you are looking at possibly way less than this as profit, except he gives this number as general conversation. But if we're looking at it critically in terms of number and how this thing works, then definitely this cannot be profit every month. And he equated this as 2 million every month, right, based on today's valuation. And he now said that in the Nigerian real estate sector, you invest this money and you'll be getting 5 million per annum. I don't agree with that, particularly with reference to Abuja, the Abuja real estate market. If that was somewhere in one other location that doesn't make sense, then that works. But for the real estate sector in Abuja, I know for a fact that this figure is not possible. It's not possible. I know what I'm talking about, right? And I'm going to give you statistics and facts to back that up as well. So this 250 to 3,000 conversation is definitely going to be the reality because this amount of house cannot give you this every month. The place that you get this kind of value of house is say in the northeast part of the UK, right? And at that point, you're looking at, if possible, the hinterlands. And at that point, you get even it's hard to get a 50,000 pound house, all things being equal. So you're looking at still around say 50 to 70,000 pounds, and this will be giving you around a monthly rent of about say, if it's good, say 700 pounds monthly. So this figure doesn't match, in my opinion, except we're able to clarify this. So let's now come back to the Nigerian real estate market. Part of the reason I'm doing this is so that I am able to correct the notion that a lot of persons have about the real estate market in Nigeria. And then the fact that we demand too much of the real estate sector in Nigeria, even though it's doing its very best, right? And that is why I said in the beginning, it's all about purpose. And of course, you have to look at the long-term game, not just about the short term. If we're looking at everything in the short-term range, then that will not make sense in any economy. So back to Nigeria, the conversation was that in Nigeria, you invest this kind of amount and you'll be getting 5 million per annum. So I'm going to draw my reference with Abuja. Abuja. Abuja is where I do real estate. Abuja is where we operate, and we know how this system works. And I've always said that it's not enough to just have money and put it in the real estate sector. You must be intentional, and you must be strategic, and you must work with professionals. You must work with professionals. You don't just have the money and you buy it and just put it anyhow in the market and you expect that you are going to get returns. The UK market has institutionalized the strategy of investing through mortgage. But in the Nigerian real estate market, there's no institutionalized strategy. So you have to be able to work with strategy based on the advice or guidance of professionals. So using one of our clients' experience, let's look at the Nigerian real estate market now when you are strategic and intentional. So we have a client who bought an apartment, two-bedroom apartment, at everything inclusive and finishing, we're looking at about 30 million naira. 30 million naira. And this was last year. So this particular apartment that was bought at 30 million naira has now appreciated to 70 million. It was bought on off plan. In other words, this particular apartment enjoyed capital appreciation, which is why I'm saying that you must be strategic. It's not just about having the money to buy, right? So this is now 70 million per unit, and he bought one at 30 million, and in less than 1 year, it is now 70 million per unit. Assuming this client bought three of these, which will give us 90 million, because this is a 100 million conversation that we're looking at based on $50 million, right? And so this is 90 million naira for 3 units. So this is now 70 million at what the price is right now. And so this is 70 million times 3. This will give us how much? This is now 210 million naira. That is the current valuation. That is the current value of this particular apartment. Each of them right now, only based on capital appreciation, 210 million naira. So automatically, it means that this person put in 90 million naira, and this 90 million naira based on 3 units had given birth to 210 million. So 210 million minus 90 million. So automatically, this now means that this client has made, only based on capital appreciation, this client has made 120 million naira. We've not started talking about rental income, and this was in less than 1 year. So rental income for this particular apartment, you're looking at 2.5 million per annum, and then we're looking at 3 units, and this will give us 2.5 million times 3, which will give us 7.5 million. When you look at this 7.5 million per annum, if you look at this based on 10 years range, because like I said, real estate must always be looked at a on a long-term basis. So you're looking at 7.5 million times 10 years, you're looking at 75 million naira from those apartments. Of course, bills and expenses, all of that definitely must be calculated. But in all, must also now fall back to, and of course, our bills are actually usually not really much because our taxes are not, so put that aside. But basically, we are looking at, say, 120 million plus 75 million across 10 years. And of course, this amount right now will not remain the same in 10 years. The same way this apartment here in 10 years will not remain the same. But at the end of the day, the difference between this and this is the fact that this person has about $250,000 to pay based on the mortgage that can give him this particular kind of profit monthly. It is largely when this loan is completely done with, this mortgage is completely done with, that profit can now begin to come from this project, and the same way profit will still be coming in from this particular project. So at the end of the day, it's all about your goal. And that is why I was telling the client who was not happy that the money she exchanged to buy a product in Nigeria has appreciated in pounds, but even though it appreciated in Nigeria because she put it into real estate, even though it appreciated in Nigeria, it is not matching what the value has become. It is truth that the Nigerian economy is not doing very well in terms of the economy, but real estate has a way of always standing out because it is a need. It is a need sector, and whether you like it or not, it will always do its thing. And based on the numbers, you can clearly see that the only time you should not invest in the real estate sector in Nigeria is if, number one, you don't plan to return to Nigeria. Number two, if you want to make it quick, you change your 50,000 pounds and you want to make quick money in the real estate sector in Nigeria and change it back to pounds and be able to get 100,000 pounds, then don't do real estate in Nigeria. It is not for you. It will not work that way because real estate in Nigeria cannot do magic. It is always a long-term game, both in the UK and both in Nigeria. So if you change 50,000 pounds today and expect that the money will be put into the Nigerian real estate sector and it will come back to you in 1 year as 100,000 pounds, then that will not work, especially because of the fact that the Nigerian economy fluctuates highly. It's very, very fragile, right? So at the end of the day, it simply means that if you want to build wealth strategically and intentionally in the Nigerian real estate sector from the diaspora, then definitely real estate in Nigeria, I highly recommend. Of course, do all of your due diligence, do all of your checks and all of that. Do everything you have to do, involve a professional. But trust me, if you are intentional, if you're strategic about investing in the real estate sector in Nigeria, and of course, you must always have location in mind because not every location will give you this kind of numbers. So you must be strategic. You must be intentional. So if you desire to build wealth using Nigerian real estate sector, then definitely, or through the Nigerian real estate sector, then definitely you must invest in Nigeria, whether you are in the diaspora or you live or work in Nigeria. So at the end of the day, these numbers, I looked at all of these numbers just to be able to clarify the point that the real estate sector in Nigeria is not useless. It's all about what you are looking to achieve. You can't be expecting A and you put money into the real estate sector in Nigeria for it to give you B. And the truth is that the Nigerian real estate sector is doing very well. The only problem is that Naira is affecting the economy generally, even though the real estate sector is still striving to make sure that it meets global demands and global standards, it definitely will be affected by the Naira. However, if you play your card right, you will definitely be able to build wealth using the Nigerian real estate sector. So in summary, the UK market will give you good returns on your investment if you want to play in the UK real estate market. If you want to play in the Nigerian real estate market, it will definitely give you good returns as well. It all boils down to what you are looking to achieve. And if you take away that concept of what you are looking to achieve, then there is no basis of comparison between the Nigerian real estate market and the UK real estate market, because both have their advantages and have their disadvantages. It all depends on what you are looking to achieve. But what I will not accept is that we are doing bad or badly as related to the Nigerian real estate sector. Because trust me, based on how we do this business, based on how we are working with our numbers and our facts and our strategies, the Nigerian real estate sector is doing very, very well. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Raymond Dijoma and I am the lawyer that loves real estate. And this video was brought to you by Fortreal Rei Ltd real estate company right here in the very city of Abuja. And we bring you the absolute best of real estate. For us, it's not just about sharing the investment opportunities with you. We also educate you so that you know how to safely and rightly invest in the city. And for us, looking at these numbers, we also like to be very strategic and intentional whenever we're looking at investing, particularly with emphasis in the city of Abuja here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, do subscribe to the channel, like this video, drop a comment, and don't forget to stay in touch.